If you're an RC crawling, look and scale, or axial racing, then today's video on the Axial Capra is for you. What is the Capra? It's a 1/10 scale electric trail buggy or rock crawler. It's 4-wheel drive and it's unassembled as a builder's kit, so it will require assembly. And as Rich over at the RC Network pointed out, it's named after the classification of goats, which are amazing climbers. So let's give this all we got.
Come on, give it all you got. Go!
There's two main features that make the Capra pretty special for a crawler kit and for Axial. The first and probably the coolest thing about the Capra are the use of new portal axles, and as far as I know, Axial has never had portals before. Vanquish has their own portals, all the TRX4 trucks, they have portal axles, and now Axial has their own set of portals as well. And these are licensed Curry F9 axles, so not only are those portals giving you extra ground clearance and raising that center pumpkin up the cleared rocks and debris, but they also look pretty good. The second main feature on the Capra is the use of a 2-position dig unit. That's included with the truck, so this dig unit provides a position for full 4-wheel drive, which you're going to use 90% of the time, but the second position locks the rear axle up, so you're dragging the rear end basically, which can have some real performance gains out there when you're trailing. And one of the big advantages to this is when you're descending difficult terrain, dragging that rear end can just add stability to the vehicle. And then the second advantage to dragging the rear end can be when you're trying to turn, it can help provide a really tight turning radius. One thing to note about that dig unit though is that it will require an additional servo, a specific servo. It's the Spectrum SX107 micro servo, so that will need to be purchased additionally to get that dig unit to function properly. And then you'll also need a transmitter that has 3 channels, so you have an extra channel to be flipping the switch to control that dig unit. So let's open up the Capra and we'll check out what's inside. So first thing, we have our tube frame that our body panels will bolt to. Yeah, there's 2 pieces in there. And then these are our Lexan panels. They are clear, so you'll need some Lexan paint. There's some body clips in there as well. And then we have a big bag of links. This truck uses stainless steel 6mm links, and there's rod ends in there that are redesigned. These are brand new link ends. Pretty snazzy. These links are reverse threaded on one end, so you can use them like a turnbuckle where there's a little hole in the link and you can rotate that with a tool. You stick a little driver in there and you can tighten or loosen the link in the ends, which effectively shortens or lengthens it. Brand new stainless steel pillow balls in there as well. All right, these are new wheels. So these are proper beadlock wheels. In the past, some Axial kits did not have beadlocks at all. They were glue-on wheels. So there's a little tool in there as well as some wheel nuts. This looks like our rear portal axle. All the hardware and bearings needed for that portal axle. Nice. Those portal axles look really nice. These are our drive shafts as well as the hardware. These drive shafts are plastic, but they are pretty durable. This is our front F9 Curry portal axle with all the hardware, the bearings, the gears. There's also a little bit of grease in there, it looks like. Some grease, and maybe that's like thread locker. And then here we go. Here are our shocks. There's an extra set of springs included. They are aluminum bodied shocks. And then there's a tube of 35 weight shock fluid to finish off those shocks. What is this? This is our skid plate and transmission assembly. The skid plate's kind of cool where it has these link mount adjustments front and rear, so those links can be adjusted height-wise, so you can lower or raise those links. Okay, what's next? This is our last bag of goodies, and this looks like more frame pieces, and there's an Lexan interior in there. so you can paint and do up that interior nice and scale. I see a grill for the front end of the body or the cage. And then last in the box, we just have our decals and a manual. So Axial Racing actually sent us this kit, so big thank you to them. But they also sent us all the items that we needed to finish it off. So let me show you what we've got. So for our steering servo, it's the S6250. It's a high voltage servo. This Capra uses an axle mounted servo setup, which in performance terms does work better than a CMS. So this will be mounted right onto the axle, the front axle. And then for our speed controller and our motor, it's the AE5L brushed ESC with a IC3 connector on there. It's a pretty basic low maintenance speed controller. And then for the motor, it's an Axial 27 turn brushed motor. And then they also sent us the little micro servo that's required if you want to use the dig unit inside the vehicle. Like I said, it's the SX107 micro servo. And you can see it's a pretty small servo, but the setup for the dig is designed with this size servo in mind. Okay, here we got a battery. This is it's a Dynamite 4000 milliamp 3-cell LiPo. Let's open this up really quick. This thing. Oh, it's pretty small. Okay, nice. So it's one of those nice little compact 3 cells. It has an EC3 on there. This battery mounts underneath the hood on the Capra. Get that weight forward, should work good. And then next they sent us an LED strip set. So these are strings of LEDs that are made specifically for that AE5L speed controller, and the L in that speed controller name just stands for LEDs because it has little LED ports attached to it. So you can just plug the string of lights right into the connector on that speed controller. It's the same speed controller that's included with some of the Axial, some of the more recent Axial SCX-10-2 ready to runs. So this is sweet. It comes with 2 white. Oh, it has a string of 2 white, 4 white, and then 2 red. So there are 3 different strings of LEDs, 3 different connectors. Let's see, the ESC though, I think the ESC only has 2 LED ports to plug in. That's all right, we'll make it work. Let's see, now we're getting to the bottom of the bag. We have a Spectrum SR515 receiver. There's no transmitter here, so let me show you what we're gonna use for that. I'm pretty sure this will be compatible. We're gonna use the DX5 Rugged from Spectrum. This is the transmitter we've been using in our Nitro Ready to Run to 8 scale Buggy series that we did a little while ago. Really good crawler transmitter. So we'll be binding that to this receiver. And there's one more item in this bag. It's not that exciting. It's the Spectrum 6-inch servo extension. So that is what we're gonna use to build up this Capra. And then for tires, I'm not quite sure what we'll use for those 1.9, so we'll have to wait and see what we do. So stay tuned for our future videos on the Capra. June in our customer service department, he's gonna build this truck up for us, and then we'll get him in here, we'll talk about the build, and then he and I are gonna go out and drive it. If you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss those videos, and give this video a thumbs up, man. We'll put links down below to all these products if you want to check them out more in depth, and if you have any questions or comments for us, leave that for us down below. I'm Brett with AMain Hobbies. Thanks for watching.